Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to this edition of Startup Central, the only show that gets you a perspective on the world of digitization, startups, the new age ecosystem and more. Alright, let's get a move on then. And the Tamil Nadu government that has been led by the Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has approved an ordinance on the 26th of September to ban online games with stakes in the state, and this of course deals yet another blow to the nascent but very fast growing sector. So let's understand its implications. What does it mean for these players? We have joining in Vaibhav Kakkar, he's partner Saraf and Partners. There's also Suraj Chokhani, who's the founder and managing director at Ability Games. And we've also got Sameer Chugh, general counsel at Games 24/7. Thank you all, gentlemen, for taking time out and joining in. And Vaibhav, continues to be blow after blow when it comes to these ordinances within the online gaming space. What exactly does this move mean for the state of Tamil Nadu?
Well, to be honest with you, extremely disappointing move from the government. May I remind you as well as the viewers here that Tamil Nadu government had come up with a law in the past to ban gambling and real money gaming activities. The real money gaming activities is the subject matter on which the Madras High Court had specifically struck down the statute by saying that it is unconstitutional and saying that these games, which are of skill-based nature, are completely protected under the constitution and there can be no ban on such games. Now, the Tamil Nadu government has gone in appeal in that subject matter proceeding to the Supreme Court, but there is no stay on the order of the High Court which struck down that ban. So while this matter is sub judice for the Tamil Nadu government to come up with another ordinance to effectively nullify the Madras High Court judgment, which has struck down that ban, is quite disappointing. It also, is improper in many ways constitutionally. And may I also remind you that there are other high courts, Karnataka High Court, Kerala High Court, and Supreme Court judgments in the context of, Fantasy League, which have very clearly ruled that these games are games of skill and they will be constitutionally protected under Article 19(1)(g). And just like how you and I commit funds, say, for instance, for betting on shares, similarly, and that is regarded as a skill activity, similarly, betting money on these games of skill is not considered as gambling at all. And so therefore, it's fairly disappointing. One is hoping that the governor, when the ordinance goes to the governor, he at least sends back this statute. One is hoping against hope, clearly because this is against constitutional law mandate. Once the High Court has struck down that ban, to bring back a similar legislation on the same subject matter. Of course, I must caution that we are not aware of what are the exact contents of the ordinance, and we still are seek to lay our hands upon what the exact subject matter of the ban is. But if it is similar, then I dare say this is inappropriate, and hopefully we will have to then again go back to the courts to try and tell them and show reason as to why a similar ban ought to be again struck down.
Suraj, so it is a fairly complex legal process. Now, I just want to understand, for your company in specific, how much of a blow would this order mean, given the fact that, you had the skill-based real gaming money, and that I understand accounts for a significant portion of the Indian gaming industry's revenue. It's been attempted to be banned by several state governments, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala as well.
In real money gaming, Tamil Nadu plays a very important role, particularly when it comes to game of Rummy. Our major contribution in Rummy comes from Tamil Nadu, and definitely it is going to be a big blow. But this ban again coming into force by the form of an ordinance, I will say, is a blow after blow. Because previously also when it was passed in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, we all went to the High Court, and now already the matter is sub judice in Supreme Court. So let the courts take its own course. Like Vaibhav, who is our who make you understand the legal complications of these things better. But what I understand is, like, from business point of view, Tamil Nadu will be definitely a big blow for the industry as a whole.
Okay. Right, a huge blow definitely coming in, given the state of Tamil Nadu's importance. And I just want to get in, a take then from you, Sameer, because what exactly is going to be the process now, given the fact that in the order that had been issued on the 3rd of August 2021, the state High Court had declared it unconstitutional, and now the Supreme Court as well overturning that previous ban. So I just wanted to understand from a legal standpoint now, what is going to be the next course of action, or what can be the next step taken?
So I think, the first thing is that we haven't seen a copy of the ordinance as yet. Clearly, a copy of the ordinance is very important to be seen, because we would like to see what the fine print is. But like what Vaibhav and Suraj kind of put here, the fact is that it's very disappointing that, there is a situation where the High Court has overturned what they had put out as a law, holding it unconstitutional. It's sitting in the Supreme Court. One additional piece that I would like to add is that the state of Tamil Nadu continued to file urgency applications to get the matter heard in Supreme Court. And the fact that they, filed those, finally, when the matter came in, the Supreme Court actually has given out a notice for it and issued notice and asked for replies, etc. Keeping that pending and then for them to pass an ordinance, of course, is very bizarre, actually, to say the least. Now, as a next step, I think it'll be important that obviously from a government perspective, they will take it to the LG. The LG signs it, it becomes a law. But from the perspective of the companies, as well as, us, Games 24/7, as well as all the other gaming companies, I think important to see the fine print. And then clearly, we don't see how different it can be, having a basis of what they had done previously in the law, which has been overturned. Therefore, we will again approach the courts. Now, whether it is the High Court or the Supreme Court is something to be determined. But we will approach the courts and really, have to turn around and raise before the court that the state of Tamil Nadu, the ordinance that they've gone, which would, they're trying to make it into law. And if it becomes a law, is unconstitutional, and therefore it needs to be struck down. So I think, it's like we fought one legal battle. We have won it. I think we'll have to redo the legal battle all over again. That potentially could be the next steps, but I'm still hoping that the LG does turn around and see the bizarre situation and the atrocity that it will, cause, and actually sends it back.
But Vaibhav, just to take off from there, here's what the Tamil Nadu government is saying. They've contended that teenagers and adults are losing their entire earnings, their entire savings in online betting games. And they've said that though Rummy might be a game of skill, the game using stakes will become gambling. So I just want to understand what would be the rebuttal, or what would be your view of the statement made.
Fair question. Very fair question, One. Just my quick reaction to this. We need to understand a little bit of history as to what actually transpired in the Madras High Court at the point in time when the ban was struck down by the High Court. What the High Court had really ruled was to say that when you use the word betting and gambling under the Constitution, that power has been vested with the state, they said very clearly that the word betting and gambling, as per the Honorable High Court, meant really games of chance. So they said if anybody was to commit money on a game of skill, that would not be regarded as gambling. And once a particular activity is not in the nature of gambling, then it is protected under Article 19(1)(g) as a business which can be conducted constitutionally and therefore then protected. And if it is a constitutionally protected business activity, then you can only put reasonable restrictions. Now, the government at that point in time had also taken a second argument, which was that, fine, if the Honorable High Court does not believe this to be betting and gambling, then we do have the power under what is called as law and order. So the state government then proposed this argument to say that under the subject of law and order, if we were to allow these business activities to proliferate, this will create law and order situation. What did the Madras High Court say? Madras High Court said there is no evidence on record to suggest that there is a law and order problem as a result of this. The government has not provided any statistical data to show the number of suicides or the number of unlawful activities that have taken place at the behest of these gaming websites. And so in the absence of any data, I will not allow the ban to take place. So again, I'm repeating, one was the issue. They said betting and gambling does not cover within it any skillful activities, any skill-based activities. And secondly, law and order is unsubstantiated. Now, this is a judgment which has been passed as recently as a year back. Now, I fail to understand how would the government of Tamil Nadu have suddenly conjured up new data to demonstrate that playing money for stake in skill activities is creating havoc and creating a law and order situation in the state of Tamil Nadu. I dare add two other points. One is the fact that ultimately, if you go back since 1950s and look at the entire jurisprudence that has emerged till date, various high courts, each time each state government has tried to put a ban, that ban has been ultimately struck down being unconstitutional. And the sole point that they make is if a particular game is a game of skill, it should get protection under Article 19(1)(g) and you can't ban it. The entire industry led by Sameer and all the other gaming companies, they're saying ban is not the solution. Look at regulation. Now, once the Madras High Court had struck down the ban and the matter is sub judice, Karnataka High Court has similarly struck down the Karnataka government ban. That is before the Supreme Court. When all these bans that have been struck down by various constitutional courts is the subject matter of the Supreme Court, for Tamil Nadu government to bring up another ordinance to nullify the Madras High Court judgment is lacking constitutional probity. And I think the short point is, and I'm maybe speaking on behalf of some of the other gaming companies, that regulation is the way to go forward. Ban is not. You look at how these companies operate, they do proper KYCs, they are all for regulation. In fact, if you look at what MeitY is doing, MeitY is engaging all the stakeholders to move towards a framework where they move towards regulation for real money skill-based gaming. Now, when that kind of a dialogue
Suraj, I just wanted to get in your take.
Absolutely.
So Suraj, I just wanted to get in your take just to take off from that point, talking about how regulation is the way to go and not outright banning.
Completely agree with Vaibhav. See, this is well settled very much in the eyes of the law that this is a legitimate business. And just like stock market or somewhere. So there is a body in stock market called SEBI which regularizes all the activities related to stock market. Similarly, gaming companies can also have a body. Maybe it's a body made from the industry, within the industry itself, or maybe it is a government body. But regulations is the way forward, and there cannot be any other way. What we are doing is an absolute legal business, and bringing ordinance after ordinance, when the matter has already been through various high courts been cleared, and now it is in the Supreme Court. It is just another blow and nothing else. But we are also in for the regulations. We have studied various frameworks because in Europe also there is a very well-defined set of regulations for the gaming companies. We can take a clue from those regulations, and we are all set and ready to adopt the regulations put forward by anybody, be it a self-regulated industry body or a government body. But banning altogether a legitimate practice is something which is not acceptable. So the move should always be in the right direction, regulating it and not banning it.
Sameer, I also understand, according to some news reports, that the government officials have proposed establishing a regulatory body under the IT ministry to classify games based on skill or chance that will have, blocking powers against these prohibited game formats and to really take a tougher stance against gambling websites. What is your view on setting up of the same and what it could potentially mean for the gaming industry?
Absolutely. To kind of just continue what both Vaibhav and Suraj said, and to answer your point, the fact is that these are legitimate businesses. Legitimate businesses cannot be banned, they can be regulated. We are very happy with regulation. In fact, we have ourselves submitted to the MeitY, we have ourselves submitted to even all the state governments, including the state of Tamil Nadu, to say that here is a plausible way to regulate us, which includes setting up an SRO. We are happy for the SRO to lay guidelines, be the nodal agency to turn around and actually, kind of see the working of each of the gaming companies which are legitimate. We ourselves follow a lot of responsible, kind of gaming and rules and regulations as part of the whole EGF, which is the e-gaming federations. We already have a set of rules, including audits and certification. which turn around and show that, yes, we have been turning around and following certifications, proper gaming rules, responsible gaming, and it is audited by a Big Four, actually, by an independent Big Four auditor. So to that extent, absolutely regulation is the way forward. Absolutely any industry that is legitimate can be regulated. We are happy with regulation. We would want a self-regulating, organization there. We have proposed SRO. We have been working closely with MeitY as well. But for states to come up and do something like this is just not right.
Point taken. A disappointing move. Regulation is the way to go rather than outright bans, and this has huge implications for the gaming industry as well, as South India is particularly important as a market for skill-based games such as Rummy, which has a significant penetration in these states. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining in and sharing with us your thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you very much.